it's time for another Keeping Track segment with local motorsport journalist Dino Alberto. Sitting all the way over there in between us is JT Ferry. He is a driver from our area, 14 years old, doing 600 micros right now at Greenwood Valley Action Track. Dino, another young driver with us from the area. Where are you from, JT?
I'm from Johns, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and you're going to MMI prep right now. You said you tried basketball over the winter, another sport. How was your first time maybe doing that? How'd that go with basketball? You're going to stick behind the seat of the car. How'd that go this winter?
It was pretty fun playing with my friends, but racing is my true sport. That was just something fun to do.
Was your dad into this before you, or did you get into racing first?
No, my dad did drag racing, but he took me to a drag race, and I said, "This is dumb. It's just a straight line." And then he took me to the quarter track, and then I liked it ever since.
You've been doing this for almost 10 years now. How do you think you've changed from when you first started to right now? What's a big difference you think in your driving from then to now?
A huge difference. Before I was hugging around the bottom in a quarter midget. Now I'm switching lanes, passing cars. I got my first win of the season 2 weeks ago at Greenwood Valley, and it was a lot of fun. We had a fast car. My dad and I talked it over for adjustments for a race, and they obviously worked, and then we got a win, first race of the season.
So not first win of your career, but first win of the season, right?
Yes.
Do you remember your first win in your career? Can you take me to that?
It was last year, end of, I think it was September. We got the pole in the heat race, drew a good pill. I got out to the lead. I haven't been doing much wing racing last year, but it was our first wing race of the season, and we got the lead, pulled away, and for the heat race and for the feature, we didn't have the top motor because it was obviously worn out. The ejection was stock, and once we got going, I started pulling away. I didn't have much experience in lap traffic, but I got past it, held on to the lead, and then I got my first win.
Great feeling. Think you'll remember that one for forever, no matter how far you go?
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask one more question, then I'll turn it over to Dino. You said you were hugging, the bottom of the track a lot when you were younger, and all of a sudden, moving up a little. Does that come with confidence? Is it confidence and skill? It kind of comes with both?
Well, definitely confidence, because you go a lot faster, higher up, sometimes lower, depending on the track conditions. But you also need skill, because you can't just run the top and you can go over the cushion and that'll make you really slow. You also have to hit it right, and every track's different, so you just have to figure it out.
Are you living in the moment, just enjoying it, 14 years old? Or are you thinking, hey, this is something I want to keep going with as a career, as I want this to be a part of my life for a long time?
Yeah, I really want to get to a sprint car next year, because nowadays everybody's really young and moving really forward really fast. And I want to see how far I can go and see what happens.
One of the things I like, you started in the quarter midgets, and you stuck with that. You stuck with dirt, and you went that path. Is there a reason you didn't, and living in Drums, not far probably from Evergreen Raceway, is there any reason why you didn't want to go asphalt racing?
I didn't really like asphalt. Asphalt's fun because it's fast, the car, but I don't know, I feel like dirt is more passing because the track changes every single night. The asphalt's really consistent, same everything. I just really like dirt. I don't know why.
You seem like you know what you want. You seem like you're like, I like this, I don't like this. Is that your personality? You kind of, you know what you want, you kind of like, and this is what I want to do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good to be decisive when you're on the track,
Absolutely. I got a question here for you. Shell hammers, Lindas, let's see where else, Greenwood Valley. These are all basically quarter mile, maybe a little less than that, but each track has its own unique characteristics. Is there one maybe you feel a little more comfortable over the other? Some places have more cars than others. I know we were talking before we went on the air that Shell hammers about a week or so ago had something like 129 cars. It's not easy when you go to these places because there's a lot of micros, but do you have preferences at each of those tracks?
I really like Greenwood because they're really nice people over there, the owners of the track. I really like Greenwood because there's 2 lanes every night, because Jerry from there, he really makes sure there's a good track every night. I also like Action Track USA because there's a lot of cars it's kind of close to Greenwood, and it's really hard racing because there's really good drivers. This is a Wednesday night. What else are you going to be doing?
The more cars, the better the competition, the better you get. If you want to qualify for these shows, that's how they got to do it. And these micro tracks, they do pull them in. It's a very popular division, but whether it's 270s, whether it's 600s. And another thing what this young gentleman did, we found out earlier, is that he went to the Tulsa Shootout earlier this year, and that is the mecca of off-season racing for indoor events. And anybody who's anybody tries to pick up a ride, brings a car with them. Some of them specifically only run that particular race with one car. That had to be quite an experience to do Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was a long car ride. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time, but we didn't realize how slick. Yeah, we knew it was gonna get slick, but we didn't realize how slick it got. Our car was a little bit loose, so we couldn't get the passing points we wanted because there's 300 cars each class, so it's really tough because you need every single spot counts.
Yeah, and it's not just guys like yourself. We're talking NASCAR type guys, Indy type guys out there, World of Outlaw guys. So all in all, it had to be a great experience.
Were you nervous or excited doing that, or a little bit of both?
Definitely a little bit of both, because who can say when you're 14, you came out from Pennsylvania to the shootout, and I ran it with NASCAR driver Christopher Bell, racing side by side for a heat race.
Pretty cool. Do you have any drivers you do look up to, or are you just kind of focused on what you're doing right now?
I do look up to Christopher Bell, but I would look up to myself if I beat him, but he got me on the last lap.
JT, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Where can we follow you? Do you have social media or anything? Is there any place we could follow your career?
You can go on Facebook and YouTube on Ferry Racing. My mom and my sisters post everything you need to know during our racing night.
You have your own social media team. That's kind of nice.
That is really nice. My whole family helps me out.
Sports on SSPTV News is brought to you in part by the Lehigh Valley Health Network and MMI Preparatory School. Come see what they have to offer during their exploration days. You can also schedule a visit with their admissions director. Call 570-636-1108, extension 136, or email admissions@mmiprep.org.